panel joining us just to have a conversation about talking to your clients about cloud and QuickBooks Online. And we just spent 10 minutes talking about how excited we are to be here and just to share our knowledge with everybody. So my name is Lauren Duploy, and I run an accounting firm called Ray & Associates. I'm also part of the Intuit QuickBooks TWN, which is our trainer writer network. I've had the privilege of being with you for the last couple of mornings, so this is the next one to do on our list. And I just want to introduce the panel that's with us today. We have Henny Duploy. Yes, we are married. This is my husband. We work in a family business. Henny handles sales, training, any IT stuff, because sometimes I'm technically challenged. So that's his role with us. And we have Andile from EasyBiz Technologies. So EasyBiz are the agents for QuickBooks in South Africa, and Andile is a key account manager, has the most incredible QuickBooks knowledge, also knowledge of the industry and with accountants. So very thankful to have him joining us this morning. We have Francois Marburg from Cow Tax in Joburg. And Francois used QuickBooks since, I think, when I was even in primary school. So, he's really just been around and, knows QuickBooks backwards, and so excited about QuickBooks Online. So thank you for being here, Francois. Then we have Nadine Augustine, who is the founder of Ecom Accountants and also part of the TWN network with us. So thanks, everybody. We have a panel full of QuickBooks fundies, and just so great to have you all with us. So I think for me, what today is about is just to empower you as accountants or accounting professionals on how to have this conversation with your clients. So historically, accountants never had to be salespeople, and now we're at the point where we really have to sell our services, sell cloud accounting, sell QuickBooks Online, and just make sure that the clients feel as excited and confident as we are. I do think that the conversation's changed. So, I mean, when we started looking at cloud accounting 6 years ago, it was very out there. Our clients were very hesitant. And I feel like lately the conversation's been a lot more positive. So Nadine, how do you feel, how are your clients reacting to cloud? What kind of process do you take to make sure that cloud's going to be a good fit? Because maybe it isn't a good fit for everybody. So I'd love to know your conversation and how you make sure that they are going to be a good fit.
Thanks, Lauren. So I think it honestly depends on the type of client, whether they are willing to use cloud or whether they're not. It depends obviously on location. Obviously, if they're sitting out there in the farm and the reception is not the greatest, there are workarounds around it. But for every client that comes to us, we do really do a needs analysis on the client itself. So we look at the type of business. If a client comes to me and they project based business, then I'm like, wow, let's just go QuickBooks without even blinking an eye. So we really look at what they need from the software, or what do they need us to do for them, where's their pain points. So I always talk about, what are you struggling with in your business, what's taking the most time, and then we look at what solution we can offer them. So in Ecom Accountants, we're all about offering a solution to them, and one of those solutions is obviously QuickBooks Online. So we really look at, let's say, if you're inventory, obviously if you don't have huge inventory, we can put you on QuickBooks Online. It just depends. Obviously, let's say if you have really big inventory, or you're a restaurant and you need to integrate your POS software in, then we need to look at third-party apps as well, because there is so far that QuickBooks Online can go. But it doesn't mean that you don't need to use the software if you have a third-party app that needs to be integrated. It's just about how you do the integration. And I really show the software, show them what it can do for them, how it makes their life simple, easy, how easy it is for them to use, and show them how it will benefit them in the future. And I think that's how I really have the conversation with them. And I've managed to, I think, convert, let's say, 95% of all the clients I've spoken to QuickBooks Online.
Amazing. Thanks, Nadine. One of the takeaways from what you just said, and it's really important, is this kind of needs analysis conversation that we've got to have. So I think as accounting professionals, we really need to know what we're talking about so that we're not going to over-deliver, under-deliver and over-promise, sorry. And then our clients are going to be, irritated with the move over to cloud. So I'm going to make sure that you all get a handout that we use. So it's a needs analysis handout that you can use for any new clients that you want to bring on board. And it also takes a look if they need any third-party apps. So that's going to be available for you to download. There's going to be a link in the chat box. So please go ahead and do that. Francois, what kind of conversation are you having with your clients? So what kind of things do you want them to know about cloud accounting and QuickBooks that you feel are really important when they're making this decision?
Thank you, Lauren. The biggest thing is to be so many years in business is to know other accounting packages. You need to know them to know how they will operate when your clients use them and how from there you can convert to QuickBooks Online. So if you don't know those accounting software, sometimes it's difficult to do that, explain the move to the client. And we find, I know the stress, when do we convert, why do we migrate and things like that, but we usually do it at the beginning of the new financial year. I don't like to split accounting in the middle of the year. If it's a current QuickBooks desktop client, it's always easy to convert them, to explain to them, you must use the third apps. Don't just look at QuickBooks Online. We really went paperless in our office. I do not allow a client in my office with a bag of slips. They do not enter my premises. So I just want to say the other big thing is, when you convert over, the previous problems was with accounting software and having it with accountants. If you move accountants, it's so difficult to get all the information and the backups and things. Now you just invite the new accountant. So if you don't like me anymore, you just invite the new accountant and there goes everything with your slips, with your backups, everything is there balancing. And the other thing is what we find is we're not the audit company, but we have clients that needs audits. So we just invite the auditors, and now through COVID, they could do the audits from home because every entry in QuickBooks got a document attached to it. So you have all your supporting there, and we actually show the auditors how to create their own reports, customize it. So next year, they just change the dates and they get all those info, because I don't like people to keep asking, can I have it in this? I want the report in this way. I want the report in that way. And you can preset all those reports. So that for me it's a big sell for like clients that needs audits. But the main thing is sell it with the third-party apps. QuickBooks, we forget about the word QuickBooks. It means your books are done quickly. There's no accounting like this. Your problems are fixed quickly. And you can remember, close your year ends, you have perfect trial balances. There is no accounting software that can give you a perfect trial balance like QuickBooks with the least journals that you will ever find in your life. For me, QuickBooks is absolutely the solution for at least 95% of people that I meet, and we really convince them, show them to save time, and it's affordable. We offer it part of our retainer. We use auto entry and all those apps. We pay for it because we save so much time and sit and entering things that we can offer it for free to our clients, and it's a win-win situation.
Fantastic. And for me, the biggest takeaway that I just heard from you is all about collaboration. So how easy it makes collaborating with our clients, because now the information is right there, and also the collaboration with the auditors. So you're so right. It's just it's opening up the conversation. And for me, it's all about, our clients feeling that we partner with them and being able to have access to their accounts and their figures immediately, like up to date today, is such a powerful tool that it's giving us. And for me, that's one of the biggest things that I always say to my clients is that you're looking at current work, you're not looking at historic work anymore. So it's really, empowering them and empowering us as accounting professionals to have this kind of information at our fingertips is amazing. Thank you, Francois.
Lauren, I just want to add on to what Francois said. We actually get a lot of clients who want to move on, or let's say change softwares around August. I don't know why, but we feel that if a client wants to move, we need to make a chance for them to move. We found that if we wait until the year end, they start to get a little bit hesitant or feel the little bit of slack. So with QuickBooks, you really can pull in a trial balance. You take the books over, the conversion team is great. So I really think we should not wait. If a client wants to move, we should move them, because we don't want to lose a client at the end of the day just because we want to wait for year end at that time as well.
Absolutely.
Good
But also
point.
with banking, sorry to also cut you off again, Lauren, with the banking and the ability to be able to import data with third-party apps. I mean, we've done migrations in the middle of the year. So it can happen at any given point. I mean, I was at a client yesterday and they are currently trying to link with their vendor software for one of their customers. It's a pretty big customer. And she said, look, we're just going to put it off until the link is done, and then you can import the data for the year. So in 2 or 3 months' time, when the join is done, we are going to import their data for this year. So everything that they've already captured into QuickBooks Desktop, we're just going to re-import and continue from there. So agreed, Nadine, it can be done at any point.
And for those of you that watched the migration webinar that Henny did with Jono, you'll see how you would have seen how easy it is to do. So you can actually do it anytime during the year. It really is feasible. So Henny, you do a lot of sales for us in our practice, and one of the things that I often talk about to other accounting professionals is whether it's important to be able to demo the software when you are talking to your clients about moving to QuickBooks Online.
So I think it entirely depends on the client. You know, I've been to clients before where we've literally just had a discussion about what their needs were, what their pain points were, exactly what Nadine said at the beginning. And by the end of the 40 or 50 minutes that I was sitting with that client, I hadn't even opened my computer because I literally just explained the features and they were like, wow, that's amazing. And I think it depends on the software that they're coming from. You know, if they've never worked on QuickBooks, then in all probability, you would need to show them the software. But if they've come from desktop and you've explained to them, well, these are the key features that are different, they're like, okay, fabulous. I don't even need to see it. I think what is important, though, where you do demo the software is, first and foremost, you need to draw that line very clearly between training your client and showing them the software. And if you focus on showing them the absolute benefits of what the software is, like the banking, the portability, the app, you know, stuff like projects. If you've got a project-based client, projects are absolutely amazing. And, you know, I've worked on other softwares where you don't have the features that we have in QuickBooks. And for me, the biggest thing is the banking. And not because I think it looks pretty, it physically makes a huge difference on your processing time. And that for me is always the selling point, and also the reports and the ability to schedule reports and have them automatically get sent. And I love the management packs. They for me are also one of the biggest selling points. So, you know, I kind of stick to those couple of features unless the client obviously asks specific questions about what they need in their business. But yes, it's client specific ultimately to answer the question. It's not always necessary, but if you do show it, make sure you show them the PowerPoints.
Absolutely. And I think it's also about being confident. So when you're telling them, you know, banking is incredible and how much time it's going to save them, make sure that if you're going to show them banking, you can show them the top 3 things about it. So I think about probably 70% of the conversations we have with clients, we're not even showing them the software. And it's really just because they can trust us. They can feel our passion. Clients can feel our excitement. So, you know, just make sure that you're confident, you know what you're talking about. But then if they do want to see it, be happy, open up the software. You're proud, you want to be able to back what you're saying, and the software can definitely do that. So, Andila, you have a lot of conversations with people about why, you know, what are the benefits of cloud? I'd love you to tell us a couple of the things that you get excited, talking to accountants about, talking to end users about. What is it that you love about cloud accounting?
All right. Good morning, Lauren, the rest of the team. You know, so much content in there, but, you know, sticking to that point, I think when we speak to our accountants, we primarily trying to find a solution, right? One of the pain points is time, saving time, right? It is security. I've got a lot of engagements where, you know, my machine crashed or my machine got hacked. How do I recover my backups? And we speak around those things and collaborating with your client. You always find that your client is one version behind than you if you were on-premise software. So our job is to basically find solutions around that. So that's why we then offer you this subscription-based solution, or SaaS as we know it, so that it would cover the security situation because your data is stored and updated as you go in real time, right? it is protected in that. And obviously between the SLA of Intuit and the user, there's going to be, or there is privacy statements that tell you what we do with the data. So it puts the accountant at ease. Then obviously it then would solve the collaboration point, because now we've got instant data access, right? So if I, let's say now, God forbid, this laptop crashes or falls, just either on my phone or a different laptop, and I still get access to data. So these are the key things that we talk around on. Then the one topic that we always get with our accountants is, look, I used to come from a system where I have unlimited companies. I get it, right? We come from QuickBooks Desktop where we can have 50 companies, all of those nice things. But the part of the learning journey is to understand that every software, right, has to be updated, right? So what software as a solution offers is that automatic updates happen. So if there's a cool function that wants to be released, by the time you wake up, it's already there. And yes, you're going to have multiple companies on this desktop solution, but what about the automation side of things? I mean, Henry, you talked about bank right now. Yes, I'd say it looks pretty, but I say not only does it look pretty, functionality. I'm here with bank rules here. I'm here automating things that, you know, I would have had to sit, you know, and recapture, look at somebody's statement, have my ruler and highlight and just do the normal thing. So these are the conversations that we kind of have with the clients, and just, you know, just bring them in and say, besides looking at the cost, look at the true value combined with the effortless inputs that you're going to bring in. And yeah, that's the conversation. That's mainly my conversations with my accountants.
I'd love to add a point there, Dile.
Yeah.
So you mentioned briefly your software needs to be updated. You know, with QuickBooks Desktop being sunsetted globally, I believe it's still running in the States, but a big point around that is Windows 11 has been released. And it's going to mean that Windows 10 will be sunsetted, which means by the time 11 comes out, if you are still on QuickBooks Desktop, you actually have a problem, because the functionality of Windows 11 is not the same as 10, which means a lot of your potential features that you are currently using, like your emailing functionality, like the ability to download documents into PDF and to Excel, you're not going to be able to do that because Windows 11 is built very differently to Windows 10. So personally, I'm just waiting for it to become more stable before I consider moving. But desktop software, you know, unless it's been updated, you're going to have a bit of a problem moving on to Windows 11 when it becomes the only operating system for Windows.
Yeah,
and you know what, Henny, you're right. Sorry, you're right. I think, I guess the one thing maybe I missed out, and you gave me just a way on it. What I also speak about is, you know, the saving of IT infrastructure, like you just said, you know. So Windows 11 is there. I'm gonna have to get an IT guy to come and install, make sure that all the programs that used to work, and those that don't, I've just lost out. So absolutely spot on there.
And server costs, how much our clients are spending on these huge servers that they don't have to do. And for me, this isn't only about moving off QuickBooks Desktop, because it's moving off any of the old legacy softwares. This is about moving to a way more automated system. And I think for us, it's really important that our clients see the benefits of that. When I say to my clients, you are going to save 60%, 60 to 65% of your processing time, they don't believe me. But that is really what happens. We saw that in our practice of the clients that we were doing our books, saving. Who doesn't want 60% back of their time? And I just want to say that as accounting professionals, one of the things I loved about doing this cloud accounting was the different revenue streams that we have as accounting professionals. And one of the things that I really want you guys to give some thought to is training. And Francois mentioned this in one of our last panels that we did, about making sure that you are giving your client the software. One of the biggest pushbacks we hear are that clients are anxious about change. They're really anxious. How are they going to get their staff up and running? You know, they've got this lady working in the accounts department that's worked on the system for 15 years. She's having a nervous breakdown. We see it all the time. So for me, it's really important when you're doing your onboarding to making sure that you support your client every step of the way. And training is a huge part of it. You want to go in when you're doing your needs analysis. You want to make sure that you understand everybody's role within that accounts department to make sure that they're going to have the training that they need to use the software. Because there's no point in giving them this new software and then not supporting them on how to use it. Francois, do you do training for the clients that you bring on board?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's very important. But I feel, I can promise them I'll train a person in 30 minutes on QuickBooks, and they'll know everything they need to know and carry on. The other thing that QuickBooks really is a good selling point is it improves a client's cash flow once they change with about 50 to 80% quicker paid, because you have track of your invoices. You have the reminders if they don't pay, because you match daily what's paid and not. And I've really seen a huge cash flow improvement in my clients moving over to QuickBooks Online.
It's one of my favorite features. It's the invoice reminders, and it's automated. There's no more. I always laugh that I'm in the accounting industry, but I hate asking people for money. So it's one of the worst jobs that we had for our clients. I hate supporting debtors. Nadine, what is one of your favorite features that you always talk to your clients about when you're trying to sell them QuickBooks?
You know what, banking was honestly one of my favorites as well, but it depends. It's either banking or the projects feature. Projects is really something that I love, but obviously I can only talk about it if it's a project related client. But the banking feature is amazing. I can go through 10,000 transactions in a matter of, let's say, even half an hour or maybe minutes. It just depends. It's such a powerful feature. And I think another thing is the clients we get a lot of clients that were doing a lot of invoicing on Excel, surprisingly. And when we show them the invoicing functionality and the sales center, it absolutely blows their mind. It's something simple as that, but it gives them value. And that's what's important.
I love, and it is all about automation. So I love the recurring invoices feature. We have a lot of clients that do recurring income, their recurring revenue. So that's a big selling point for us. And I think just for me, the big takeaway here, and I hope that everyone hears this, is to make sure that you are listening to your client when you're doing the needs analysis. Because if you're not, and Nadine, you're so right, if you're not hearing about your client's pain points, what are they battling with at the moment? They might not be battling with debtors, so the sales side might not be interesting for them, but it's really important to let them do the talking first, so that you can then, have your conversation around the kind of needs that they need. So, Francois, it's funny that you said that you can get people to learn QuickBooks in 50 minutes. Please don't tell too many clients that. Because we do a 2-day extensive training course. So yeah, let's just.
Look, you could teach sales in half an hour.
Yeah.
Small function per function. I would say
the financial manager of the business needs to know everything, and particularly banking. I mean, I spend at least 2 to 3 hours on banking, purely because it's so easy to make a mistake. And if you don't create the right habits from the beginning, I repeat myself also a lot. And for me, well, I don't know, maybe I just like training. So I extend it further than I need to.
Yeah, but it's
we enjoy your training. Thank you.
I do. Love it.
Another revenue stream that we've actually created is once we do the training with a client who wants to handle their books on their own, so they have their whole accounts department and everything, is we actually charge them a monthly support fee, where we give them advice and stuff like that. And if you train them well enough, you basically are not spending much time on that client, especially if you do that training correctly. So that as you said, Lauren, there's a lot of ways to create revenue in our field of work.
And what an amazing point you just raised, because we do SLAs with a lot of our clients that we don't do their accounting work as well. And that's amazing. We also do a lot of short videos. So, if a client wants to know how to do banking, we could just, or how to set up a recurring invoice, you could just send them a snippet. So it's quite nice for you to spend some time. Guys, we're going to have to learn how to be salespeople. This is it. Like, there is a huge change in our industry. We have to learn how to upsell ourselves, the products, cloud accounting. We have to be confident at it. And I think for me, it comes from practice. So the first time you try and sell cloud accounting might be really hard. You know, the next time it gets a bit easier. Make sure that you're giving yourself a lot of talking points and that you're already just confident in the software. And also for me, I think it's really important that you know the subscription levels in QuickBooks and what the software can really do. So make sure that as accounting professionals, if you're trying to sell QuickBooks, you want to be certified so that you actually know what you're talking about, because the certification training is incredible. So just make sure that you're empowering yourself as much as you want to empower your clients. So I think if there's nothing else that anybody wants to add, anyone, Andile, anything from your side?
I think one thing, if I were to speak to accountants around the idea of selling to your client, is always be in the position to communicate value, right? And not just give this person information, if you understand what I'm saying. So yes, we've got our debits and credits in our reports, and we know the product in and out. We know that, right? But as much as I'm a key account manager to you guys, but I just want to show you something here. If I deliver value to you, it means that I listen with a sense of empathy and that I'm really on your side trying to solve solutions, or give you solutions rather, right? But if I am going to feed the client documentation articles and say, all right, this is, you don't know how to do the software, I don't have time for you, here's a user guide. That is one way of just giving this information, and you're not going to go further. That's it. But everything that has been discussed here, you know, and also show the client that you know this thing in and out. Like, you guys have been impressing me with, I mean, we come so far, but then, you know, the techniques that you guys are using, the features that you talk around, you know, all we need is the accountants that are listening here to get the same confidence and speak to the client. Yeah, but that's it. That's what I'd say.
Thanks, Andile. You're so right. And I think that your clients will feel your passion. And I've said that before. You want to be able to partner with them. And for me, that is around training them, making sure you're understanding their business. You're not just salespeople. So let's just make sure that our clients start seeing the value for us. Also, so once you get certified, please make sure that you touch base with EasyBiz and that you have an account manager linked to you. They are incredible for practice support. So please just make sure you're doing that. And also that you want to join our Facebook group, because it's an amazing community. I'll post the link for you. We're really just there to support each other. You know, these are the kind of topics that we talk about. So QuickBooks really has a great community within South Africa. So make sure that you join us, and just thank you to everybody. I know what a crazy time of year this is. We were laughing that we feel like we're 6 months into the new year already. So January is always, you know, mad. So thank you for taking.
February is worse.
Yeah. Thank you for taking your time with us this morning for your coffee break. We appreciate it, and we will see you at the next one. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lauren. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lauren, and our industry panel for sharing your thoughts and participating in a really rich conversation on moving your clients to the cloud. In terms of actionable insights that I took away, the first one was undertake a client's need analysis to ensure that you have a detailed understanding of the business and the pain points that the client is looking to solve. This will enable you to proactively make suggestions on the solution, including apps. The next one, make sure you talk about the value the solution is going to deliver to the client, rather than just talking about features. That will show that you really understand the client's business, which they will greatly appreciate. So migrating to a new solution was the last one I wanted to touch on as well. Now, historically, people have thought we need to do it at year end, and a lot of people do want to migrate to a solution at year end. But what the panel spoke about is that you can actually migrate at any point throughout the year. And I think the key is understanding how you can do that, so you can talk to the client with confidence as to what that looks like, what it will mean to them, so that they understand what's happening at every step of the process, and you can manage their expectations. So I'm sure that everyone got something out of today's session, and something that you can implement this year end, which is really important. That's what this whole program is about, is giving you actionable insights that you can put into practice now. Okay, so the code words for day 5 are easy with. Just repeating, the code words are easy with. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for day 6, when we'll share more knowledge on marketing your practice. And until then, have a great day. Thank you.